welcome to Campus, the Niger-Delta Roundtable, where I discuss the future of this region, immensely blessed with hydrocarbon resources. Now, every week we give time to reflecting on topics relevant to the development of the Niger-Delta and her people. On this edition, it's no different, as we're here to focus once again on how to take the region to a more promising future. Be reminded, the program is sponsored by the operator of the NMPC SPDC Total Energies Active Joint Venture, the Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria Limited, headquartered in Port Harcourt. Thank you for joining. I'm Adid Dayo, Elushakin. On this edition, the topic is Shell, the LiveWire of Local Economies. Now, in this episode, we delve into the dynamic world of Shell LiveWire, the LiveWire of Local Economies. Shell LiveWire is Shell's flagship enterprise development program designed to invigorate local economies by fostering entrepreneurship and innovation. Since its inception in 1982 in Scotland, Shell LiveWire has expanded to 15 countries, supporting thousands of entrepreneurs annually. Now, these entrepreneurs transform their innovative ideas into sustainable businesses, creating jobs and driving economic growth. Through initiatives like the Top 10 Innovative Competition, Shell LiveWire highlights and rewards impactful and innovative entrepreneurs, further promoting economic development. Now stay tuned as we explore inspiring stories of entrepreneurs who have benefited from this program and learn how Shell LiveWire continues to make a positive impact on communities worldwide. Again today, the topic on Canvas is Shell, the LiveWire of Local Economies, and my guest is Hephzibah Odekina. Hephzibah Odekina is a social investment advisor, enterprise development with Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria Limited. Hephzibah, hello, welcome to Campus.
Thank you, Dayo. Thanks for having me, and I'm quite excited being here.
It's great to have you here as well. And I'm looking forward to the conversation. I've heard so much about LiveWire, and I'm sure that considering the immense role it plays in our communities, I'm sure there are many others as well who want to learn more about LiveWire and especially how they can benefit and be a part of it. So I'm looking forward to this myself personally.
Same here.
Let's start on this note. Can you give a brief overview of the Shell LiveWire program initiative and its main objectives?
Okay. The Shell LiveWire actually is Shell's flagship enterprise development program, and like you said, it started in the UK, Scotland, and then in Nigeria. It started in the year 2003. So it's actually 21 years we've been implementing this program in Nigeria. The program encourages young men and women to see business as an alternative, to regular employment, to see careers in business as an option to regular employment. And the program is actually the goal of this Shell LiveWire program is actually to help to solve the unemployment problem that we know we face in Nigeria. We have so many youths that we graduate from our universities that are in the job market, but there aren't enough jobs to absorb this youth. So that's how the Shell LiveWire came about, to solve the problem or to contribute to solving the problem of unemployment, and also helping in the efforts the government is making to solve the unemployment problem amongst the youths, especially in Niger-Delta. And so the program actually encourages young people between the ages of 18 to 35 years, like I said, to see business as a career option. Yeah, and so it encourages those with innovative business ideas to apply and turn their dreams into bankable businesses, actual businesses. So that's just an overview, and from inception to date, the program has supported about 9,000 youths in the Niger-Delta.
Okay. Now, you say that they give an age range, 18 to 35, am I right?
Yes.
Why 18 to 35? And if a person is above 35, I mean, they could still have some ideas. I mean, a person can, at 36 or 37 or even beyond that, have a brilliant business idea that could become really big and huge. And if you put it at 18 to 35, they're, should I say, out of scope. Um, why that age range?
Okay, so the demographics here is the 18 to 35 because they are also in the Niger Delta, the ones who are more vulnerable to social economic means that are not very legitimate because of unemployment. We have a lot of young people between those ages who are, like I said, more vulnerable to social economic means that are not very legitimate, and this such as crude oil theft, oil bunkering, and all of that. We have them more in this demographic. And of course, 18 to 35 years, they're the ones who also have the dreams, the vision, and have the energy to, pursue and take the risk at this point of their life. But like I said, we want to also help to reduce the social economic crimes that we have because of unemployment.
And that also means that for anyone to be a partaker or beneficiary of the LiveWire initiative, it means you first need to have an innovative idea that could be turned into a business. Now, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, not everyone who might even fall within that age range within the Niger Delta might be business or would be or is business oriented. Is that correct?
You're very correct. So we encourage those with business ideas to turn those ideas into reality. I didn't also mention between 18 to 35 are those who are just graduates. So, like we said, we have a lot of graduates who are in the job market without enough jobs to absorb them. So, LiveWire is another option to support these young ones to have a career.
So you have to be a graduate as well.
Mostly, yes, you have to be a graduate. Sometimes there are other programs we have that are called special live wires, targeted to projects in the communities. Sometimes those programs are not for just graduates. We have secondary school leavers who are given those opportunities as well.
All right. So, how did Shell LiveWire start in the Niger Delta, and how has it evolved over the years?
So it started, with the idea of creating employment opportunities for the young men and women in the Niger Delta. So, and I must say, the employment opportunities is not just for those that Shell has sponsored, because by creating businesses for them and also expanding those who already have businesses, existing businesses. So when businesses are created and existing businesses are expanded, these young men and women also have the opportunity of being employers of labor themselves rather than job seekers. They are now employed and employers of labor in the Niger Delta. So that's how the LiveWire started in the Niger Delta. I think you asked a question.
Yeah, I was
of,
asking. So,
how
over the
long-
years, yeah, how has it evolved? I imagine that over the years, there's been some evolution. It's undergone some kind of changes, improvements, I dare say. What are some of these um, changes or amendments or improvements?
Over the years, LiveWire was a skills acquisition program to support the youths in the communities. But we found out that, and the skills acquisition program also had graduates and non-graduates. So over the years, we found out that the graduates were better at managing their businesses, were more sustainable than those who were non-graduates. So that's how it became, gradually tailored to the graduates. And then other ways it has evolved, we've also helped the youths in the Niger Delta to embrace the digital space, in that in the past, all our programs and trainings were physical, but with the advent of COVID, you know, no one would have believed in the past that, youths in the communities in Enwe, in Asa, could, embrace the digital opportunities, but we were forced during COVID. So now, whatever program we have, there's an element of the digital in it. Not, it doesn't start and end with all physical. Part of it is digital, so it makes them to embrace, digital economy, technology, whether they even the digital or technology natives, as we, we've come to realize. So
Absolutely.
those are some of the ways it has evolved. And recently, there's the advent of the Nigeria Startup Act, and LiveWire, like Shell, Petroleum Development Company, likes to drive innovation and technology. So as soon as that act came into being, we were the first in the industry to begin to drive it among the youths, the LiveWire community. So that's one way it has also evolved, so that they can see the benefits that's there for them in that act.
I know you've touched on it somewhat briefly, but if you could expatiate, very helpful. How has Shell LiveWire contributed to the growth of local economies in the Niger Delta?
Okay, so in many ways, so sometimes, or some people could have dreams to own businesses, become successful business men and women, but they may not have the know-how. So that's where Shell LiveWire intervenes. It's an intervention program, so it provides those business management tools, to build the capacity of these young men and women, so that they can successfully manage a business and become successful business owners. We have contributed in creating businesses, creating jobs, creating employment. Like I said, it's an employment of creation opportunity for the youths that participate in this program. So it not only creates business opportunities for them, but it also makes them employers of labor. So income is being generated in the Niger Delta by these young men and women. If I throw back to COVID, the statistics had it that 20% of revenue in Nigeria, or income, during that short down period, was by small and medium scale businesses. And the LiveWire entrepreneurs are also part of these statistics. And during the COVID as well, when businesses or offices were shutting down, these young businesses, these small and medium scale businesses, they were quite resilient, they were more flexible, and they generated about $120 million in this nation. So, and the LiveWire beneficiaries are all part of this. So, in a lot of ways, we contribute to the economic growth in the Niger Delta. We also provide access to finance to them, not only building their capacity knowledge-wise, but we provide access to finance. We provide mentoring programs, monitoring programs for them to ensure that the businesses are sustainable. So, so these are some of the things we do to contribute to the economic growth.
Now, Hephzibah, having been a part of the LiveWire team at SPDC for some time now, I imagine you've seen and been a part of several success stories over time. Some of them, I imagine, are quite remarkable. I'm sure they're all remarkable in their own way, but some may be more remarkable than others. Can you share some success stories of entrepreneurs who have benefited from the program that really stand out?
There are a lot. I don't even know which one to mention, but okay. But there's one that I like,
Wow.
and that's the young man called Precious Adeho from Delta State. He was walking the streets of I don't know which community, but in Delta State, he was selling bread on the express road, and he saw the LiveWire advert. By the way, the LiveWire program, it comes free of charge. Anyone can apply. Any graduate can apply for the program. It's very there's an application criteria. So if anyone meets it, any interested graduate meets that criteria, you will be accepted for the program. So he saw the advert and he applied, and he was one of the successful trainees. So he got his startup grant and he started his business, and today he has his business has grown. He just recently opened an office in Houston.
Wow.
He has offices in Lagos, and it's called Immobila Engineering. He's just recently, a few months ago, opened an office in Port Harcourt. So, and then his employee base is about 30 or more. So consistent, not part-time employees. So that's somebody that I like his stories. Of course, Emobola has won a lot of awards, and they have all the ISO certifications. So that's one story that we're proud of, from selling hawking bread on the road to opening an office in the US.
Even from
There,
selling bread on the streets of Delta State.
yeah,
And then he had one life changing encounter. He saw a live wire advert, and now he's got an office in Houston.
yeah.
That's remarkable.
That's live wire, real live wire. That was a live wire.
As far as live wires go, that is a live wire.
Yes.
Really. You talked about support. Or two things you mentioned here. You talked about applying for it. There's an application process. There are requirements that you must meet, and that's an integral part of this conversation. We'll come to that later on. But you also talked about the support that's given. So let's elaborate on that a bit. What kind of support and resources does Shell LiveWire provide to entrepreneurs?
Okay, so as the training we provide on business training, business plan, business management, because if you take a statistics, a lot of people want to be in business, but they, like I said, they don't have the know-how. So to sustain the business, they may not just know how to go about it, because without a business plan, a business is likely to die before 5 years. So, in fact, in 2 years. So that's part of one. That's part of what LiveWire provides, or the support it provides. Like I said, it also provides access to finance. It provides market linkage to our top performing beneficiaries. We provide advisory. We play an advisory role to them. For example, during the training, we have a training called the ideation workshop, where they come up with their business ideas, and those ideas are judged. They come before a juror and all of that, so that to know whether the ideas are actually viable or not, because you can have a dream, but that dream may not be market viable.
For example, I have a dream to sell bread in space.
Yes, exactly. It just might not be viable. So those are all part of the advisory they get, and of course they get the mentoring and close monitoring within the first 6 months to ensure that the business survives. Um, and then they have the network. There's a community, so they have the peer-to-peer network, and the bigger community with the live wire handlers. So a lot of support that, and then there is the performance incentive support, which is awarded to the best or the top performing entrepreneurs or beneficiaries. That's where the top 10 comes, and we have locally we have the one we call Young Business Leaders Award.
Mm.
So those are support that we give to them. And one example, it may look small, but the peer-to-peer support they get in their LiveWire alumni during COVID and during the lockdown. Someone had eggs. His poultry had so much eggs, but he couldn't sell them. He couldn't go out to sell them. And one of the people in the community, in the LiveWire alumni, was able to connect him, to someone else that had need for eggs, and that's how he offloaded all of his eggs. So those are some of the supports that they get. And then local content capacity, we also build that. Sometimes when we do that, and the top performing ones are even in our supply chain, and this gives them an opportunity to to build their capacity industry wise, corporate wise. And it also just creates an environment. Besides the support we give to them, it also creates an environment for business in the region. It makes it a friendly environment when crime is reduced, when the people are clamoring less. The youths are clamoring less for the companies to, or the organizations to give them cash, as it were, but they can do things for themselves. So it creates an enabling environment, or a friendly business environment in the region. It contributes, not that it creates, but it contributes to that. Yes.
Now, you've spoken extensively on the support the Shell LiveWire program offers, but I'd like for you to home in on the aspect of turning innovative ideas into sustainable businesses, because that's very key. You talked about how I might have a dream, but is it workable at this time? For example, I want to sell bread in space. Yeah, it's not the worst dream in the world, but can I actually make that happen now? Very possibly no. So at the time we determine that, okay, this is an innovative idea, this is workable, this is practicable, what is the process for turning that innovative idea into a sustainable business?
Okay, so yeah, a lot of people have innovative ideas. Where we come in is that intervention where we provide clarity on that idea, and then we also provide that access, because one problem that entrepreneurs, small businesses suffer in Nigeria, it's access to finance. That's a very big challenge for businesses. So the Business Startup Fund is an award that we give to every participant. They don't have to repay it. So that award helps them to start off their businesses and realize their goal. Now, when they receive that award, we don't just give it at once. It's awarded in two tranches to help them to manage it effectively. So when they receive the first tranche, we are there to mentor, monitor, and find out if they're in the right direction. So when we confirm that, that's when the second tranche is paid to that entrepreneur. And if he's not in the right track, then he has the opportunity to correct. In normal business, you probably, an entrepreneur probably doesn't have that kind of support. So he has an opportunity to correct where he's not in the right direction. So yeah, and then that's how he's able to realize his dream. There's the close monitoring that we offer to them, and that advisory that we offer to them that helps them to turn their business ideas into reality.
It is Canvas, the Niger-Delta Roundtable, brought to you by SPDC. My guest is Hephzibah Odekina, and today we're discussing Shell, the LiveWire of Local Economies and Communities here in the Niger-Delta region. We have to go for a break now. When we return, a few more matters concerning this we're going to be x-raying, especially if you're wondering now, what is the process? How can I be a beneficiary of the Shell LiveWire program?
yellow and black markers indicate pipeline and flow line right-of-way boundaries. Your activity could impact on the buried high-pressure hydrocarbon pipelines and flow lines, leading to possible leaks and explosion. Please keep off. Do not engage in sand mining or any form of excavation, pipeline vandalism, oil theft, and bush burning within pipeline and flow line right-of-way. Do not farm, trade, or locate any business on pipeline and flow line right-of-way. It is against the law to apportion land, sell, or build on pipeline and flow line right-of-way. Maintain a setback distance of at least 30 meters or about 100 feet from the right-of-way boundaries always. We care for your safety and that of the environment.
This message is brought to you by the Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria Limited, SPDC, operator of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, Total Energies, and Ajib Joint Venture.
And welcome back. This Canvas in Niger-Delta Roundtable brought to you by SPDC. I'm Dio. My guest is Hephzibah Odekina. Hephzibah, great to have you once again. You're welcome.
Thank you, Dio.
On this edition, we are looking at Shell, the LiveWire of Local Economies, especially in the Niger-Delta region. Thank you for joining us once again. Now, I have other questions, several other matters we're going to be looking at. We'll get to those shortly. But before we went on the break earlier, I did mention that the first thing we'll likely look at when we return is a question that I strongly suspect is on the minds of most persons who are watching or listening to this right now, which is, how can I be a part of a LiveWire program? How? Because you mentioned earlier that anyone can apply, but then again, there are preconditions or conditions, and all of that. So, who is eligible to be a LiveWire beneficiary? How can I apply? What's the process like?
Okay, so opportunity is given to every one who is interested, mostly graduates in the Niger-Delta region. So the program is normally advertised on radio, on print, and then there's a clear eligibility criteria that it's on the advert. So you have to be between the ages of 18 and 35 years old. You must have an innovative business idea. You shouldn't be employed. You shouldn't be employed. You should be from any of the states in the Niger-Delta region except Ondo. So the other states, do I need to mention them? Imo, Abia, Rivers, Bayelsa, Delta, Edo, Cross River, and Akwa Ibom states. So if you're from any of these states, you are eligible. And I want to emphasize that, please, you don't need to pay anything to anybody. It's free. The application form is free and it's online for everyone to see. So you don't even really need someone to give you an application form. Application is online. You just get the link and you go to the portal to apply. And the criteria, it's also stated there online and the portal. It's a long list of criteria, but there are also lists of businesses or sectors that are supported by the LiveWire program, such as agriculture, because we kind of domesticate what we're doing to our region. So a lot of people in this region are interested in agriculture. So agriculture is there. Because we're also, the oil and the gas is there. Communication is there, and a lot of other things, wholesale, retail, it's also there. So those sectors are there that we support. So you see it, and if you're interested, you can apply for, and then you should be a bachelor's degree holder, like we said, because from a baseline study that was carried out, we discovered that graduates perform better or are able to have more sustainable businesses. I'm not saying that secondary school holders or non-graduates cannot, but at least we depend a lot, or we can trust a lot in a study. So more of the graduates were able to have sustainable businesses. So when that advert is out there, all of the criteria is stated in the advert. And so if anyone out there feels he meets any of the criteria or all of it, please feel free to apply for the program.
Okay. Now, a couple of questions on this, on the application process and the guidelines and criteria and all. So you said there are certain business areas that are listed as well.
Yes.
So what if my innovative idea is on space technology?
Yes, so it will fall into space. Interesting thing is that almost every business can find a place in those sectors. Almost
Okay.
every business
Okay, that's
can
good.
find a place there. Yes.
Okay. Also, you said on all the Niger-Delta states except Ondo State. Did the people of Ondo commit some sin?
No, they didn't.
Okay.
No, they
So why is
didn't.
Ondo State exempted?
First, there are the communities of interest, operational areas, and then just the proximity to them as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, when do these applications commence? Is there the timeline? 'Cause I don't think that they're never ending. They're open ended.
No. So when the advert goes out, it's open for 2 weeks, and apart from print and radio, we also send those adverts into the communities. So there are flyers, there are posters that our community relations personnel also take to the community, so that everyone, as much as possible, has an opportunity to apply for the program.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned several states in the Niger-Delta region and different states, and even within the same one, even within the states, different communities have different cultural contexts, and even economic context as well, based on the environment, based on cultural practices. How does Shell LiveWire adapt its approach to different cultural and economic contexts? Is that taken into consideration?
Yes, that's why I mentioned earlier that a good percentage of our applications are in the agriculture or agro-allied area. So, within this region, we have the water. So a lot of people are into fish farming and other related businesses, the oils and just different things related to fish farming and agriculture. Palm oil. A lot of people are into the palm oil business and related, processing that is in palm oil. There's a lot involved in palm oil. So yes, we take that into consideration. That's why I would say about 50% of the businesses of someone, 40% are in the agri and agro-allied area. And that's fine because, like you said, that's the environment we are in. So we don't discriminate against that. We encourage that.
No, it's all well and good. I mean, to focus on agriculture and husbandry or fish farming. I mean, I like a good plate of fish and chips, and very well barbecued catfish or other things like that. So I mean, somebody has to make that.
Yeah.
And food is very important. We need to be able to feed ourselves.
Exactly.
However, because I mean, it's the world is a global village these days, and when we consider the future, focusing on fish alone will not serve us for the future. I mean, the digital space right now is something else. IT, technology, robotics, and all of that. Do we get sufficient or enough people or applicants who are looking in that direction? Technology, robotics, and all of that.
Interesting. So, like I said, because our people in this region are more interested in the agri and agro-ally, we as a company, because we also like to drive innovation and technology, we're doing everything we can to encourage them to come into the digital economy. And as a result of that, last year we introduced the Startup Act that supports innovation and technology, especially in the digital economy. So come 31st of October, we're having a tech conference because we also want to close the gap between the businesses, the small businesses or entrepreneurs in the Niger-Delta region. We want to close that gap in the digital area. And so that's why we're having that conference where we're going to invite subject matter experts to, to the conference, to panels to help them to bridge that gap so that our people can also participate actively in the digital economy.
All right. And just to be clear, by the way, that's 31st October 2024, because I don't know when you're going to be watching this, whoever you are. Am I right? 2024?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, what are some of the common challenges faced by entrepreneurs in the program, and how does Shell LiveWire help them overcome these challenges?
One of the challenges they face is scaling up. You can start, or anyone can start the business with maybe a seed fund, because what we actually give to them is a seed fund to start. But after a while, you need to scale up. That's where they have challenges, how to go about scaling, how to maybe get connected to investors. These are some of the challenges. And another challenge they face, everyone just wants to hug their business to themselves, their dreams and their ideas. So people are not looking at partnerships or, thinking about investors in this region. Meanwhile, that's an opportunity to really grow their business. So even in the tech conference, where we're going to bring in investors, we'll have an investor session so that we can make them investor ready, market ready. So we'll hand over tools to them that will make them investor ready. So these are, I know access to finance is really one of the challenges they face to scale up. And as a company, we had also tried to give them access to loans, growth, but the response in the repayment didn't encourage us to continue that program. Some of them were able to pay back. Many of them were not able because they thought, oh, it's Shell. They were telling us things like, Shell, you're our father. Those kind of things. So we didn't continue with that. And the serious one, I will mention one of them. The first person to pay off her loan is one entrepreneur called Gia Bridal at GRA. I don't know if you ever seen that building. And last year, she was able to organize a mini runway show in the New York fashion show.
Wow.
That shows seriousness. So it also shows the focus and seriousness they put into it, the grit they put into it. They also get the rewards and recognition.
I'm glad you mentioned the tech conference just a while ago. You mentioned it again because I thought to ask you about that also. Can you elaborate on that conference? When you said it's 31st October 2024. What is this conference about? Where is it taking place? Who can attend the conference?
So it's the tech conference is like we said, to bridge that gap, close that gap between entrepreneurs in this region, in that digital economic space, digital technology space. And it's taking place on the 31st of October at the Shell RA Club main hall, starting between 9 in the morning to 1 o'clock. Anyone who is interested, entrepreneurs, it's open to entrepreneurs, it's open to the academia, it's open to thought leaders, and even policymakers, and government officials, so that we can also create an ecosystem, right? because if Shell is the only one that is driving it, we will not have that needed ecosystem. So it's open to all the players in the ecosystem, the academias, the financiers, investors, thought leaders. So everyone is invited to have that conversation and start it in the Niger-Delta.
Oh, I just had an idea right now as well. So besides the Niger-Delta, or Nigeria more specifically, where else is the Shell LiveWire program operated?
The Shell LiveWire is a global program, yes. It's operated in the UK, in Brazil, in Italy, it's in Malaysia, in different countries, in Canada, where Shell has operations, in Oman. It's a global program.
Right.
Yes.
Now, is there any kind of connection or meeting point or exchange of ideas or whatever it is between Shell LiveWire beneficiaries in the different countries where Shell operates?
Yes, we have a monthly call, and globally, we're creating a connection where everyone, both the entrepreneurs, the implementing partners, those are the trainers, yes, financiers. We're trying to create that ecosystem, which is going live very soon in a couple of months, where everyone, you can have resources, you can interact, and like I said, there'll be a monthly call. And we've had handles before where everyone could interact, but the global team is coming up with an improved community, will I say, call it a package that will have everyone, even the vendors, involved, and we'll be having a checkup monthly call. We are called the implementer leads. Everyone will be involved in the ecosystem so that we can share experience, we can share challenges and learn, basically for learning.
Now, you just touched on a question I'm about to ask next, but I'm sure you could expand your response still. How does Shell LiveWire plan to stay relevant and continue to make positive impact in the coming years, and possible plans for expansion as well?
Okay, so through relevance, through platforms like this I just mentioned, yeah, because is the solutions that we provide, the offerings that we have for the entrepreneurs that make the program relevant. So there's the networking platform, the new networking platform that it's going to be launched in a few months' time. And then there's the Global Top 10 Innovation Awards that, challenges entrepreneurs to be their best, to be more innovative, so that's Global Top 10 Innovation Award. It recognizes and it rewards entrepreneurs that are very innovative, and that entrepreneurs that, their businesses they have social enterprise in what they are doing. And the rewards are also very, very very motivating. The first prize is like $20,000, and then the runner-ups get $10,000. Yeah, and in all the sectors in the LiveWire program. So that's quite exciting, and we've had about 5 people from Nigeria win that award at different
They came number
times.
one. They came tops globally.
No.
Oh, okay.
We've had an award for the most outstanding business was won by a Nigerian.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Yolo Smith.
Okay.
And he got.
But we've had Nigerians in the top 10 globally.
Yes, we have. We've had Nigerians in the top 10 and top 20. Yes, because the top 20 is also relevant. We've had Nigerians there.
Okay, all right. But this all sounds really fantastic, I must say, really. So what else is there? Can you, as we wrap this up, I know you gave an example. You've mentioned several names already. I'd like for you to give another example of another LiveWire beneficial recipient that stood out for you as we wrap things up.
Okay. There's this. There are many, like I said. There's Akapat Solution, Blessing Dodo. He came up with an app that helped children to learn mathematics, because I know in enterprise, it's when you solve problems that you begin to make impact, and then the money follows. It's first of all make an impact, create value for people. So a lot of, he said he noticed that some children seem to be scared of mathematics. So he came up with that app, that helps children to learn mathematics. And then schools were patronizing him, governments in the South region, the Niger-Delta region, and other places were also patronizing him. And he was one of the first 20 in the global top 10 innovation award. But there are lots and lots of examples of people that have, really, there are a few in the energy, alternative energy, sector. There are a lot of examples of people that have done very well.
I'm glad to hear this. I mean, to know that it's not like I mentioned a while ago, it's not all just fish and cassava.
Oh, no.
I mean, fish and cassava
no.
is brilliant. By the way, it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, Fufu has been saving lives since God knows when. But it's good to know that we're also playing our role in the digital space.
Yes, we are.
That's good. So, what advice do you have for, or would you give aspiring entrepreneurs looking to join the LiveWire program?
They should believe in themselves. If they really believe in themselves, there's no limit to what they can achieve. The program has global exposures for anyone at all who strives for excellence. The program will really expose the person to that, and there are so many rewards, when you come with the mindset to create value and bring solution to problems that people face. So if you're out there and you have, solutions to the pains of people, please come and advertise, come and apply to the LiveWire program. It's a program that has a lot of opportunities, and some people out there, you're a job seeker and you've been seeking job for so many years, and you probably have very good grades from school. My advice to them is, why don't you consider business as a career option? You can also consider business as a career option if you have, solutions that you want to share with the world. So opportunities in LiveWire, they are endless. Yes.
And I remember you mentioned from inception to now, the LiveWire program in the Niger-Delta, we've had 9,000 beneficiaries.
Yeah.
That's a very high number. And if we're to look at the multiply effect, persons that they've employed,
Yes.
persons who have benefited as a direct result or even indirect result of that, figures I'm sure will be quite staggering.
Yes, because there are some that have up to 10 employees, 20 employees. There are those who have 1, 2. Then there are those who have part-time employees. When they need those employees, they absorb them, and when they don't need them, they let them go. So a lot of people are benefiting from the program. Families are also benefiting, because sometimes some percentages are given to encourage women in business. So when those women come on stream, of course, families benefit whenever a woman is empowered, or the capacity of a woman is strengthened. So a lot of families are also benefiting in our communities as a result of the LiveWire program.
I'm glad I remember this. I must ask you this. I made a mental note to ask you this before we wrap it up. And this is probably my final question. So have we had Shell LiveWire beneficiaries who have been in some way or another been incorporated into Shell's business value chain in some way or another?
Yes, we've had a number of them in the Shell business value chain. For example, we have a certain beneficiary, Abia International. He's in the Shell supply chain, yeah, and he's not just in the Shell supply chain in the digital media, but he's also a certified LiveWire trainer. So what we do, those we see who are really performing very well, who have a heart for that, we also train them to become certified trainers. So sometimes when there's a bid for the LiveWire program, I'm so excited when I see that out of 8 people that bidded, 4 are LiveWire beneficiaries. That really gives me joy. I said, oh, we're building capacity. So a few times or a lot of times we've had LiveWire beneficiaries who are the implementing the trainers, the certified trainers, and they go through rigorous training, to become trainers. And so it gives us a lot of joy when we see our former trainees, beneficiaries are now training others. And of course, because they were once trainees themselves, they are better. The empathy, to implement the program better, is there. You see it in them, in the passion they carry out this training because they want those people to be successful business owners like them. And I love the story of Abia. Abia is a businessman and he's a trainer, was a LiveWire beneficiary. So he wears both hats, and I really like that story.
Thank you very much, Hephzibah.
Impact story, I would say.
Thank you so much, Hephzibah. And that's a wrap for this edition of Canvas at the Niger-Delta Roundtable, brought to you by SPDC. We have discussed Shell, the LiveWire of Local Economies here in the Niger-Delta region with Shell LiveWire program. Thanks for joining us, and especially thanks to my guest, Hephzibah Odekina, for shedding a great deal of light on this wonderful initiative. Thank you, Hephzibah.
Thank you so much, Daniel. It's my pleasure.
I'm Adedayo Lishakin. Watch out for another edition of Canvas, the Niger-Delta Roundtable on our various social media platforms. And thank you for joining this edition. And do watch out for the Shell LiveWire advertisers